All right, in this episode, we talk about breaking balls.
And my experience with the Braves.
Porcio, David Aardsma here at the At Top Velocity, or currently the David Aardsma Show, where you go to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, at Top Velocity, hashtag pitching tips, hashtag baseball tips, hashtag David Aardsma. For now, I'm gonna get rid of this David Aardsma stuff, so when he goes to spring training, right? And we'll answer on the show. I'm supposed to be right there. Where's my what's it called?
Hopefully I sign with the team, so I have it somewhere to go.
Yeah, put that out there. Come on, teams.
Talking to teams, we're getting it, but
maybe this show will do it, David.
I just need to get that pen on the paper.
All right, who do you want to play for this year? Let's reach out to him right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Who haven't you played for?
Any major league team.
Who haven't you played for? There's only like 7 of them left.
Right? God, who haven't I played for?
Who haven't you played for?
Rockies.
All right, Rockies. You hear this?
Royals.
That'd be nice.
Who haven't I played for? Blue Jays. Phillies. I haven't played for the Phillies. Tigers. I haven't played for the Tigers. Who else? Astros.
You got me.
Angels.
Nationals.
Royals. Nationals.
You said Royals already.
Oh, you said Royals. Angels.
Are you at least
Rangers?
Are you at least
Nationals.
halfway through the teams?
I'm almost there.
Almost
Two more. I'm halfway there.
You're chasing.
I'll get there. I'll get halfway for sure. I'm chasing.
LaTroy Hawkins.
Dotel. I think Dotel has the record. LaTroy,
he does?
No, LaTroy I think was 1 or 2 short. Dotel is. I think he's still pitching. He might still be playing.
That's awesome. All right, so all those teams. Someone's interested. Throwing pretty hard right now. So gonna look good this year.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'm gonna look good.
Yeah, and he's
gonna look good, and I'm gonna look good.
That's important for all the ladies out there. His wife.
My butt looks really good in pinstripe. Just saying.
All right, what's the question for today?
Nate Butler asks, being a lifelong Braves fan, I'm kind of curious about this. Are the Braves in particular really cool about David's training? I know some people are, but particularly Atlanta, I'm wondering about.
There you go.
Nate, awesome being a Braves fan. Hopefully I saw you at some games, maybe sign your autograph or something. Thank you for being a Braves fan. Not a Brave anymore, but I knocked him on the list. That was another one.
Yeah.
So I could say I played for.
Right.
No, the Braves were awesome about it. Most of the teams, the last 2 teams, obviously the Dodgers and the Braves, where I brought my system into them, they were completely okay with it, completely cool with me doing it. The big thing was, though, they just wanted to make sure I knew what I was talking about and I knew what I was doing. So they told me, we sat down, had a big discussion, what my plan is, what it was doing in the off season, what I want to do in during the season, and we had a good discussion about it. They were basically testing me to make sure I knew what the heck I was talking about.
Well, your pitching coach was McDowell, right? Roger McDowell.
Yeah, Roger McDowell.
Did he have a similar approach? Or?
Well, I think they kind of let guys do their own thing. Because we got good training staff, good medical staff. Let them take care of that side, and Raj take care of the pitching side. But as far as the trainers, they basically told me, they said, do whatever you want to do, and we'll watch, and then we'll have suggestions, and we'll go from there. So basically, I went through my whole lift one day, and they looked at me and they said, perfect. They said, great. And I said, do you have any suggestions, anything? They said, if we see it, we'll let you know. Like one day they said, I can probably get back a little bit. I was probably getting over the bar too much. Another day, talking about, driving through the hips a little bit more.
So they were supporting Olympic lifts.
A lot of them do Olympic lifting. A lot of these trainers do Olympic lifting. It's just, I think the hard part getting into Major League Baseball is the actual teaching of it, and being scared of a $200 million pitcher.
Doesn't know what they're doing.
Doesn't know what they're doing, and now they're all of a sudden teaching cleans, and he has a little forearm trouble because he
doesn't know how to catch the ball.
And they're blaming the cleans, and I totally get why guys don't want to introduce it, or why it's so slow in being introduced. but at the same time, you know, the guys that know what they're doing it. And I know, like, Freddie, the manager down in Atlanta, he was doing Olympic style stuff too. And he was all for it. He was loving it, man. He was totally digging it. What I was doing, and guys were all the time coming in and.
So you were talking about you said Miller, Shelby Miller was
cleaning, but he was squatting 405 in between starts like it was nothing.
That's awesome.
You know, he wasn't going ass to grass, but I bet he could.
Yeah.
You know, and he's doing in between starts, man. He's
had a great year.
Ass and had a great year.
Great year.
All-star. You know, our all-star, and he's lifting the most in the weight room. So it was cool to see, and it's cool to be with these guys, with these trainers, then have these type of conversations where they're totally up for it and understanding. And in Atlanta, the one day I was in the minor leagues with them, the guy was totally up for it too. Same kind of things. We sat down and he kind of tested my knowledge on it, and then watched me and was totally up for it. So it's a pretty cool atmosphere when guys, they just want to make sure that you know what you're doing, so you're not just like, oh yeah, I clean, oh, and you throw the weight over here, and they're like, no. You know, then they're not going to let you. So you have to be smart, educated about it, educated enough to be able to have a conversation on why you're doing it, and then actually have the proper form.
And overall, I mean, give your rating on the Braves. I mean, you like the organization, right?
I liked it a lot. I had a great time with the organization. I thought they cared about the players. Thought they cared about the team. You know, obviously I was there towards the end. You know, we weren't really winning too much, and the organization wanted to go a whole different direction, a lot younger, try to get a whole lot of prospects. It's hard to see that. It's hard to see so many talented guys leaving the organization the way they did, but at the same time, in 3 years when they're probably winning divisions, you can't really argue with it. You know, you can't really, it's hard. All the guys are getting in return, man, are studs or draft picks. You know, like so you can't really argue. The Pirates kind of went down that road once. The Cubs kind of went down that road, and these guys are perennially fighting for the division now. So,
well, I mean, David, you got to completely respect them. You were sitting in AAA, dominating. The Dodgers didn't want to give you a chance, and the Braves said, "Hey, we'll give you a chance."
Absolutely,
respect the hell out of that.
Complete respect. They wanted to win, and they wanted to give me a chance. Thoroughly thankful that no matter how it ended, absolutely thankful for that.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, great question. Go Braves. Next question here.
The Realist asks, I'd love to hear David's take on breaking balls. If he's still there, that would be a good video.
TJ, breaking balls. So one of the things I do is I throw slider, throw it right here. I kind of get two grips. The last couple years I found that randomly throughout the year, like I'll wake up and not have an idea of what I'm doing. I'll just pick up the baseball and it'll feel like a completely foreign object to me. It's the most random thing in the world. So I make sure I have two grips, and I'll stick with one. And so this is the one right now I have. Right here, right on top, trying to stay right through the ball, trying to throw it just like a fastball right through it, kind of trying to go right there, just so maybe a little right on top of it. And then all of a sudden when I pick this up and I have no idea what I'm doing with it, I throw it just like this. Same kind of thing, just a little off center. Same idea, exactly the same. Now it just feels a little different on my fingers. So what'll happen is, I remember with the Mets in 2013, I was throwing this one, then all of a sudden I was playing the Nationals one day and I had no idea, and I started spiking it. It just felt weird. I was moving my fingers, and the next day I went back to this one and it was perfect. I threw that one ever since. But at the same time, it's like I used to throw this one, and then with the Mariners I threw this one, and then this one kind of went weird, so I went to this one, and this one kind of went weird and went back. And it's the weirdest thing.
It's just how you finish your
really, it's you want to make sure you're on top of it. That's the biggest thing. Think top to bottom with it, especially with the slider. Top to bottom, maybe just a little off center, right there. You don't want to think straight over top
or
when you're throwing a fastball. By no means you ever want to go to the side. Don't ever think to the side. You always want to think on top of it, with the kind of being a little off-centered. What's going to happen is when you think on top, you're going to be just a little off of it. So you want to be on top of it. The second you get here, that's where everyone goes, oh, don't throw a slider, that'll hurt your elbow. Well, that hurts your elbow. It's not the slider, it's the hand movement. And so when you're throwing it, guys go, oh yeah, that's a slider, right? No, that's not a slider. This is what you want. Well, you want to do the perfect slider, the Mariano cutter, which is a small slider. Is you want it basically when you throw it, you want to see just a tiny little movement like this. And honestly, sometimes if you're throwing a good cutter, you don't want to see any movement. So like, a lot of guys told me if you're throwing a really good tight slider, you don't see anything. It doesn't look like you're doing anything, but the guy catching it goes like this. You know, it's like, hey, you know, that's a good one. You're like, it didn't do anything. You know, it just looks like a tiny little late movement. You know, that's the thing about Mariano's cutter. It was so good. It looked like it was going to be here, and all of a sudden it ended there. Because it was so late that right when they swing, that's when it moves. So you're basically making a judgment. This is where it's going to be. No, it's not. You know, and so that's the 2009 when I had really good slider. It was like that, a good slider. That's how it was. Last year, I felt like my slider was excellent, and it was a little bigger, but it was a little bigger because I was in this grip. It gets a little tighter when I'm in this grip. But it just about feels.
And are you really feeling the seam when you're pushing down on it?
When I'm on this one, I'm really feeling the seam. I'm really feeling that seam. I feel it's more like a fastball, but I'm a little off center again, so it's coming out like this. You know, my fastball four-seamer, I'm right here, so I'm right behind it. This one, not so much. This one just a completely different feel.
Yeah.
So that's why.
But there's a little seam there. Right?
There's a little seam on the side. I'm not really.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel that too much. I want to feel more of that on this one because it's a little off center. I want to feel more on top of it.
Okay.
But it is off center, so it's gonna go. This one, I want to feel that seam. I want to feel me pulling it down. Yeah. But that's the thing. There's two totally different sliders. They might look the same when I throw it, but I'm feeling two totally different things. That's why I can grab one and throw it, grab the other one, throw it, and they're, you know, for me mentally it's two different things.
And
that's why I can go back and forth.
You're not doing anything different.
Mechanically, I'm not doing anything different. It's fastball, 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 fastball. Then just a little bit different instead of right behind it, just a little off to the side. Curveball, I was taught this by Steve Ontiveros, was basically take the horseshoe right here, put a thumb right on that one. It's a little hard to do it. Thumb right here, finger on this one, grip it. I was told grip it as hard as I can. It's knuckle curve. That's why you call it a knuckle curve, and then firm wrist.
Did you throw that?
I threw it for 1 year. I actually threw it 22 times in one game.
You did?
Yeah.
In
25 pitches, 22
big league balls?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It must have been like, where'd that come from?
Well, we were practicing it. We were doing pretty well in the bullpen too, like on and off practicing it. He said, hey, give it a shot. It brought me into a game. We were already losing by like 3 runs. I'm going to throw it 22 times. Pitching coach came in and was like, David,
It was slow?
I want you to work on it, not throw it every single pitch. I was like, we're going to find out. No, it was, I want to say it was like 80.
Wow.
You know, but at the same time, I was throwing 90.
So it was going boom.
It was, you know, some of them were. You know, I remember I threw one. I think it was Napoli. I think it was Napoli. Swung. He swung and you looked back right in the dugout and went, what the hell was I've never thrown a curveball in my career. And then all
Do you
of a sudden,
advise that? Because I remember looking at Chris Carter one season, and like halfway through the year, he all of a sudden picks up a slider he hadn't thrown all year.
You know, but here's the thing: is a lot of guys see that and go, okay, well, David Archman threw a curveball 22 times. You know, like what the heck happened? Well, I was working on it for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, like he threw a slider in a game, but he was probably working on his slider for like 2 months, 3 months. And then all of us, throwing it in the bullpens, throwing it before games, and finally, they finally said, go for it.
Yeah.
Today's the day. Find, what you try to do is you try to find the right counts. Say if it's like a 0-1 count or 0-2 count. Hey, you can throw it. You can waste it. Nothing. You just don't get hurt.
Yeah, show them something different.
Yeah, show them something different and see if it works. Yeah. And then you try to always start it out with like a two strike count. So if something happens, you don't really get hurt because he's probably in defensive mode anyways. Yeah. And then you go from there, and then you learn how to throw it 0-0, learn how to throw it 2-0. That's the thing is if you can learn how to throw a curveball 2-0, that's money because they're sitting fastball, they're just waiting for it, just pop a nice little easy curveball in there, and that's amazing. But for this one though, the big thing with the knuckle curve, you want to have firm wrist. You don't want to throw it out there, cast it. That's what they call casting it. You want a firm wrist, throw it straight down.
Hammer.
Yeah, that's why you call it a hammer curve. because that thing goes going to go like this. I don't really like to throw it too much because the one thing for me, what I found is I'm a guy. I come up here